And in today's video, we're going to be talking about The Flash. So we know this weekend we have the first official trailer at the Super Bowl, but it will probably just be a teaser at the Super Bowl, and then Warner Bros. Pictures would drop the actual trailer online. As for 30 seconds at the Super Bowl, it costs like between $5 to $7 million, so they're not going to do that. They just drop a teaser trailer at the Super Bowl most likely, and drop the real trailer online. So we've allegedly got a new ending for the Flash movie yet again that helps sets up the new DCEU 2.0. And apparently there's going to be a mystery character added to the end of the movie, which sounds pretty interesting. Also, James Gunn has come out and brutally said why the SnyderVerse and DCEU won't be continuing. Also, we're going to talk about what Pete Safran recently said that has led people to believe that Warner Bros. Discovery will license out the SnyderVerse story to other outlets. I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but they still aren't going to do this. Animation's completely different to selling out the SnyderVerse story, if you like. So, multiple different DC news within this video. So, what is freaking good, YouTube? Wish you here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any Marvel, DC, pop culture-based content that we cover here on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on. And let me know, who is this mystery character they're seamlessly adding to the end of the Flash movie while seamlessly taking out a bunch of characters that people love? And also, if you could, check us out on Instagram at WashU to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And if you could, check us out on Twitter, WashUG. It's my smallest platform. I'd love to have a following over there, but for some reason, nobody likes me and no one seems to want to follow me over there. But I am joking, but being serious. So let's get into the first story. So the Flash movie has gone through so much controversy. The main star, Ezra Miller, an absolute train wreck. He choked out a fan in Iceland whilst filming. He went on a rampage in Hawaii. He allegedly had some crazy stuff going on, which led to parents getting Child Protection Act orders out against him. But all of a sudden, somehow he is going through therapy and treatment, and it looks like they're going to be keeping Ezra Miller on as the Flash. The Flash has had multiple reshoots. They did have Gal Gadot. They did have Henry Cavill in some kind of scene. Henry Cavill got paid $250 to do a cameo where, careful spoilers don't ruin your life, where he was going to be stuck in the Speed Force, and Ezra Miller Flash was like, yo, so this is where you're being. Why not just leave it in the movie? It would have more hype if Henry was in it properly, although he's allegedly also meant to be in a Justice League scene right at the start of the movie. So, my point here is, the Flash movie, they must have spent close to $300 million on the movie. We know they want this movie to succeed. Why? Because you don't drop close to $7 million on a Super Bowl trailer for fun. The fact that Michael Keaton's in this movie, Ben Affleck's in this movie, it's got hype just based on them two characters alone. Even if you take Ezra Miller out of the movie completely, which they won't, Batfleck, Keaton, they are people's favorite Batman. People will go watch this movie just for them too. And also, this is supposed to be ending the DC cinematic universe and starting not the James Gunn verse, because it's not the James Gunn verse, because there's Pete Safran as well. This movie's supposed to be kicking into the new DCEU. And then Aquaman 2, which did have Michael Keaton and Batfleck in. Apparently, that's been rejiggled, and that's going to be the new movie in the DCEU as the new kind of movie. And Blue Beetle's going to stand alone in its own kind of universe while still being part of the new DC universe, which doesn't really make much sense. So, The Flash has completely changed its ending again and replaced all those cameos, allegedly. Right, let's break down exactly what this has to say and where it actually came from. So, originally, the Flash movie ended with Barry Allen returning to his own timeline, only to discover Michael Keaton Batman, Sasha Calle or Kali, I believe it's Sasha Calle, Supergirl were now part of this universe. That explains how the former was going to return in Batgirl and Aquaman Lost Kingdom and set up Batman Beyond, and not to mention eventually set up Crisis on Infinite Earth. Also, the movie was going to end with Barry Allen getting a message from Batfleck being stuck in another universe, and that was to set up Ben Affleck returning later down the road when they were apparently going to be doing Crisis on Infinite Earth. However, this has changed majorly now because the DCEU is no longer after the Flash movie and it's rebooting into the DCU, although I say it's a literal 2.0 is a soft reboot. It's taken, in my opinion, some of the worst parts of the DC universe and allowing them to happen, whilst not keeping some of the best parts of the DC universe. So, I know Grace Randolph's a hit and miss, but she is actually right with this one. Now,
let me tell you a little bit of Flash tea. I just found out, that in the Flash, they've stripped out, James Gunn has instructed them to strip out all of the teases at the end of the movie. Henry Cavill's been taken out. Gal Gadot's been taken out. Sasha Calle has been taken out. So that's why I think they're going with a different Supergirl. It's just going to be Barry just runs between the universe, the multiverse, and everything's going to stay in the movie. I also heard that Michael Keaton was taken out at the end as well. So they're all out. It's just going to be Ezra Miller comes back to some other reality. So Ezra Miller is truly the Flash wild card that he is in the comics, that he can go wherever he wants. But they're not going to keep anything from that movie, at least in the main universe. It's just been, all the promises of that ending have been stripped out. I heard that they are filming a special cameo with a character from a long time ago in the DC world, so I think that's going to emphasize that Barry can go wherever he wants. But that's a really, really big deal. And I do believe, because of that, Sasha Calle is not the Supergirl that they're discussing here. Because there is a Supergirl movie that they're making, which we're going to talk about.
I've had it vetted by somebody else who's vetted it with somebody else. So this information is 100% bang on. So those original plans have gone out the window. Grace Randolph recently claimed Keaton, Sasha Calle, and all the big teasers added last year, including my boy Henry Cavill cameo, have been scrapped, although I didn't really need Grace to say that because literally everyone said that already. The decisions were made by James Gunn and Pete Safran, and arguably makes sense with a reboot on the horizon, although it's not actually a reboot. So does it make sense? I guess we'll find out in a few years' time. Why tease fans with actors and characters that they'll never see again? I don't know, maybe nostalgia, maybe No Way Home. Do we expect William Dafoe, Green Goblin, to appear again? No. But was it cool from a nostalgia point of view? Yes, it was. So, having mastered the ability to time travel through the multiverse, it's said the Scarlet Speedster will cross paths with a character from the past. Could it be Christian Bale or even a CGI Christopher Reeve Superman? Now, we know there's going to be some montage when he's running through the Speed Force, when he's running through the multiverse. I don't know how that's actually going to be do it. Oh, wait, I did a plot leak video that's been confirmed to be pretty much bang on. Yeah, we will see some kind of thing. I might actually throw up the image here I'm on about. We'll have to wait and see. But we'd bet the fastest man alive eventually being recast for the DCU regardless. No, I don't think he's going to be recast at all because they can't recast him. Why? Because they've invested too much into him. And he's apologized and he's having therapy or treatment. So I honestly think he's not getting recast at all. Although he should be, but maybe his performance is that great that James Gunn has said that the Flash movie is one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. Both Keaton and Affleck were presumably cut from Aquaman, and the whole situation sounds like a mess. However, whilst there's a lot of footage from these movies we'll never see, a fresh start is on the horizon. No, it's not. It's really not, because you're keeping a lot of stuff from the old continuity. It makes no sense. So, this post is going around. James Gunn has cut all the teasers at the ending of the film, including Keaton, including Sasha Calle's Supergirl. They're filming a new cameo with a character from a long time ago to show that this Barry can go anywhere he wants. Anyone who has read any of the Flash comics, whether it be New 52, whether it be DC Rebirth, would know that Flash can literally run to any timeline when he wants to, as long as he doesn't mess anything up, or else he'll have a time remnant or have the Black Flash come and try and take him out for doing it and messing with a timeline. So do we really need a scene? Are you really calling the audience that stupid? Even the normies would know the Flash can run to anywhere, in any timeline, in any universe that he wants to. So, my good friend Humberto Gonzalez said on Twitter, and he's verified, true actually, I'm joking, he blocked me because I told him he was wrong about the Snyder Cut being restored for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I was right and he was wrong. And he's literally blocked me on every single platform. It is what it is. So, who is the mystery character? I don't know. I really don't know who the mystery character is, but it could be literally anyone. It could be a CGI Christopher Reeve Superman, Christian Bale, could literally be anyone. It's going to have to be a character that somebody actually knows from the past. So, Christian Bale, maybe, could be him. Could be a CGI Christopher Reeve Superman. Although that may trigger some people, I think, because it would be disrespectful in a kind of way. It depends. I don't know. It depends how you look at it. It could be Linda Carter's Wonder Woman. That could happen for sure. They're just sticking it there to show that no matter what, they could do an Elseworld storyline, which will get confusing because the Elseworld universes have to be better than the DCU story, James Gunn recently said. So it will get confusing to the point where realistically, it could be Grant Gustin Flash. It could be literally anyone, but you're probably going to see a bunch of people making out they know who said mystery character is, but realistically, it could be anyone. Could literally be your boy War Stew, could be Brandon Ruth Superman, could be literally anyone. They could deep fake it, but obviously they wouldn't for legal reasons. It could be Walter Hamada. It could literally be anyone. It could be Darkseid. It literally could be anyone. I don't want to hypothesize who it could be, but yeah, it's just there to say, yo, Ezra Miller Flash can run literally anywhere he wants to go in the timeline if he sees fit to do so. So this whole campaign that's been going on the internet, sell the SnyderVerse to Netflix. Okay, why? Why would they do that? Now, recently, Pete Safran came out and said this in an interview. We have the ability to sell outside of HBO Max, if it makes sense. Big line there. If that makes sense. Now, we know Warner Bros. Discovery is in just under $50 billion worth of debt. So we'll figure out if there are certain shows coming up that would be better served elsewhere, or if that's not real estate on HBO Max for us. Now, this is where the sell the SnyderVerse to Netflix does not make any sense. Let's read this again, Certain shows. So are you saying the SnyderVerse is a show? Would Snyder Cut 2, Snyder Cut 3 be a show? No, it'd be a movie. It wouldn't be a show. But we like the idea of having shows on Amazon and Hulu and Netflix. It just broadens the DC audience. And yes, DC could make money. This is not Warner Bros. Discovery. They're specifically talking about DC Studios here and DC selling TV shows. They're not the SnyderVerse. It's a whole continuity. Now, yes, if they had, hypothetically speaking, in an Elseworld universe in 1,000 years' time, if they had Zack Snyder Justice League 2 and 3 on Netflix, it would broaden the audience. It would also confuse the hell out of the audience. So you got to understand, yes, there's money to be made, but it's got to make sense. And I get it. Some animated shows could be on Amazon. In fact, I'm pretty sure one of them is. I haven't looked into it much. But people are like, yo, so is Saffron lying? No, he's not lying. But people are reading this this quote, like it's saying, Zack Snyder's Justice League, the SnyderVerse, could be on Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix. It doesn't even come close to saying that. It just doesn't make sense. Yes, they are in debt, but it's not like someone personally being in debt. It's a multi-billion-dollar company that's in debt. It runs a little bit differently. They haven't got a deadline where this $47 billion has to be paid off, because the longer they're in debt, the more interest their debtees occur, so the more money the people they owe money make. So realistically, it serves the people they owe money better if they take longer to actually pay the debt off. Oh my God, you've just done basic economics 101. No, I haven't. Not even close. But they're not selling off the SnyderVerse. If there was a show that potentially was already running and they wanted to do a new season or something, maybe, but it ain't gonna happen, lads. I know there's certain people on the internet that keep telling you that DC is open to selling DC projects. It actually says if there are certain shows coming up that would serve better. It doesn't say projects, certain shows. Yeah, a show could be a project, but Ben Affleck's series that would have been cool to see him taking on Joe Manganiello Deathstroke and having Batgirl, etc. appearing. It ain't gonna happen. And if it does happen, I'll tell you before anyone else tells you, because I hear that. God, that's gonna trigger some of you. So, also in the news, DC boss James Gunn gets brutally honest about the SnyderVerse and DCU and its up journey. Okay, so I've seen a lot of people talking about this, and I've actually read it, and he doesn't really say an awful lot, does he? No. So a lot of people are worried about James Gunn being ahead of the studio with Pete Safran because they don't want him to Marvelify it. But I do find it actually very fascinating how some of the people who hated Peacemaker and hated the Suicide Squad movie. Now, just go on my Instagram at WarStew. I actually have a post there where I really liked James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie. Although it lost a lot of money, I still really liked it. I think James Gunn's cool. I really like Peacemaker. I'm looking forward to Peacemaker Season 2. So people have this impression I'm not down with the new planets because I call out and I say things how I mean it. I don't sugarcoat anything. But to come out and say, yeah, James Gunn's gonna kill it, but you didn't support the Suicide Squad movie, and you also said Peacemaker sucked, but somehow he's gonna do Superman right. Your logic don't even make sense, bro. So, I wanted to take care of these characters. We all know it's road for many of them for the past few years. I really thought it is a challenge, but I think it's possible to create something really wonderful with these characters, he said in an interview with Screen Rant. The history has been journey for DC. Damn, I'm going to have to keep bleeping. Gee. So let's continue. I think that there was basically no one minding the mint, and there was giving out IPs to any creative that smiled at whoever was in charge. There was never really any power given to the people in charge, and so somebody could always go over the head and do whatever they wanted. He continued, possibly alluding to what happened with Black Adam star Dwayne Johnson as he went over the head of DC Films, Walter Hamada, to bring Henry Cavill Superman back. He really is firing shots. I find this kind of funny because James Gunn still has to do the press tour with Kevin Feige for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and he's throwing shade left, right, and center. No creative control, not list. Yeah, because at the time there wasn't really a cohesive universe in the sense of Walter Hamada kind of universe. So let's digress. We had the DCEU, which then became the Joss Whedon Justice League, but it also became the SnyderVerse, which became this. And then we have Wonder Woman 1, Wonder Woman 2, which doesn't even match up what happened in Wonder Woman 1. Fair play, I completely agree with you. Then we have the Arrowverse, and even us coming in with the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Okay, but at the time, the television universe wasn't cohesive with the movie universe. Yes, it was still, they still coexisted because Ezra Miller Flash appeared in the team over event that happened on the Arrowverse. So to bring them two in together doesn't really make much sense. What is exactly, and all of a sudden, Batmite is a real guy, Gunn said. So how can we take these things together and make them make sense and have them unified and have them be in one real universe, one real world? It's all right, James Gunn coming out and saying all this, and then you're going to let Joker, Joaquin Phoenix have his own universe and let Robin Pattinson, Batman have his own universe and let just so your Coates have their own like new Black Superman universe. So what? The problem is James Gunn keeps contradicting himself all the time. So that's basically what he said, that he wants it more comic booky and wants a cohesive universe. That's pretty much all of what James Gunn's brutal comments were, although they weren't actually brutal. He wants the overall tone of the universe to be more vibrant and comic booky. So basically what you're saying is you want it to be a lot softer in tone for the normies like Marvel, and you want it to be cohesive. Okay, yeah, Peacemaker, the Suicide Squad, Shazam, to mention a few from the old universe are coming through to the new universe, which is literally going to confuse normies. It's not going to confuse people that are into pop culture stuff and follow it like all the time. It will confuse normies why certain characters made it through and other characters didn't. I really hope whatever you're adding to the end of the Flash actually makes sense. So more comic booky. So basically, you don't want Superman to be snapping people's necks. So there's going to be no dark and gritty series. Oh, wait, there's Swamp Thing, there's Creature Commando. Okay, so they're kind of dark. If you do Swamp Thing properly, it's pretty savage, pretty dark. So already you're contradicting yourself yet again, James Gunn. Just be cohesive in what the freaking hell you're saying. It really does make me laugh, this kind of stuff he comes out with. He contradicts himself in every other statement. We want it to be comic booky, but we're going to do Creature Comforts that's going to be savage, and we're going to do Swamp Thing that's going to be savage. It doesn't make sense what you're saying. I understand it. I get what you're trying to say, but what you're really saying doesn't actually make sense. So like always, guys, what do you think about James Gunn's comments? Who is the mystery character? I can confirm it is not Warstew. I got cut like I got cut from the kind of extra role that I had in the Batman movie back a few years back in London. So I can confirm it's not me. And I already see people trolling of who's going to be the mystery cameo role. It's not going to be Peacemaker. John Cena's not randomly going to turn up. And I really hope this random character isn't going to be Amanda Waller. It's supposed to be somebody from the past. That's very interesting. I'm really interested for the Flash movie, but it literally could be anyone. Christian Bale would make the most sense if they want it to be someone from the past, I guess, but do you really need to explain why the Flash can run anywhere on any timeline in any universe? Not really. So like always, guys, let us know. What do you think about everything in this video? So like always, guys, I'll keep you up to date with all the latest and greatest Marvel, DC, Kaiju, pop culture-based information as best as I see fit. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WarStew. Check us out on Twitter at WarStewG. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.